Just got back from the Tunnel to Towers 5K run in Cranes Roost up in Altamont Springs. We're proud sponsors of that. We have been now for many years. Great turnout this morning. And if you've never witnessed that, it's a marvelous sight to behold when the first responders show up with all their gear. You know, the firemen with their tanks on and their helmets and their uniforms and then all the stuff that they have to wear. I heard up to 80 pounds of stuff that they're doing, and they're out there doing a 5K run. Unbelievable what these guys, and men and women, do. And we're proud sponsors of that. And so once again, it's a great morning, but it's good to be back here in the studio with our audience, taking questions as we have now for almost 40 years, answering questions that you might have regarding your personal finances, decisions that you're trying to make regarding your IRA or 401k, long-term health care, reverse mortgages, life insurance, stocks, bonds, real estate, all that stuff that Dave and I and the 15 other certified financial planners deal with day in and day out, providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee. But on Saturday morning, we are here for you absolutely free. So if there's anything on your mind, things you want to get cleared up, decisions that you're trying to make, rumors that you might have heard, something that your brother-in-law may have told you doesn't sound quite right, give us a call because the lines are absolutely wide open and you could be first in line by dialing these magic numbers.
The numbers are 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO, or feel free to send in your question using the open mic feature inside your very own WDBO app. Open it up, navigate your eyes to the bottom right-hand corner of the app. You'll find a word that says open mic. Tap record, send it in, and Dave and Joe will answer as if you're sitting here in studio with us. The topic of today's show, 90 days to retirement. Here are 10 things to add to your checklist.
All right, Dave, set it off.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Central Florida. Good morning, Josh. Yeah, so the topic today, right, this is by far the most anticipated milestone, I think, in anyone's professional life. If you've been working or even if you're a business owner, doesn't matter. Retirement is almost the number one milestone that's there in your mind.
Not only financially, but also psychologically.
Psychologically, this is one of the probably I would dare to say the biggest transition.
Yep.
The biggest transition in your life, right? So and it's not unusual. You've been thinking about it for years. Maybe even reading books and reading resources all over the place, web, newspaper, whatever, on all the things you need to do, right? So maybe you have a checklist, you've thought about it. Hopefully you worked with a financial advisor who's kind of helped you think through all the big rocks, right? So the big things you need to think about, the things such as, you know, when is the right time to claim your Social Security? When is the right time to do your Medicare? When is the right time to be able to, you know, get your withdrawal from which account, right? So this is the distribution plan. Hopefully you've done this. I mean, if you've not leaned on a financial advisor, you know, power to you. You're doing it yourself. But again, there are things, when you pull them all together, there are things to think about. And this is where we have a lot of workshops that we cover to talk about, you know, whether it's the stages and tax and stages, different stages in retirement, whether we talk about Social Security, whether we talk about Medicare. So we have all these things to educate and inform people.
You know, when you start to think about it, Dave, it's that we just talked about the financial and the psychological. But it's really the fear of the unknown.
Yep.
I mean, this is the first time where no man has gone before. And you're thinking about all those things. And you've seen people move into retirement gracefully and successfully. And then you're probably aware of some people that just don't have it together and have just blown it. And you're concerned, and you should rightfully be so, that are you aware of all of the things that need to be considered, once again, not only psychologically, but financially? We can help you clear up the mind fog, if you will, be your retirement Sherpa, because it's what we do day in and day out. But there are several things that need to be considered, so you're going to talk about 10 of them.
Yep, I'm going to talk about, I mean, these are the big stuff. Hopefully you've got this all thought through. But there are things, the little details, right? Things that somehow is not something that comes to your mind first. Okay, so I'm going to kind of put this into a couple of different buckets. The first thing, obviously, we'll start with money, right? So when we talk about money, and again, if you've been working with one of the large employers, there's a nice benefits website, right? So there's a nice benefits website where you go and report your stuff and kind of check what your balances are and so on and so forth. It's not unusual that we have essentially mixed our personal life and professional life together. Our email addresses, our phone numbers, they're all mixed and you have different contact information. So go, and one of the things you want to think about here is making sure that typically when you go to the benefits website, there is a place for you to identify your bank accounts and your contact information.
Now, you're talking about large employers that have those kind of websites.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly. So I'm talking about the larger employers, and even nowadays, even small employers are starting to have it. And so essentially, it's a place for you to make sure that your bank accounts are connected or identified as this is the place I want to get my money, right?
Okay.
Invariably, there are security protocols around this where they want to make sure that there is nobody trying to steal your money, so they may have wait periods. So make sure you're going in there and your accounts are linked the right way. And this could be with your employer-based retirement accounts. It could be your IRA account for that matter, right? You may not have a bank account linked with it. So make sure that you've been used to receiving this check maybe every week or every 15th or every 2 weeks, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, that's going to stop. So we need to make sure that that deposit is coming through. Where is it going to come through? Hopefully with your financial plan, you know which account is going to get that money into your account, right?
Right.
But let's make sure those pipes are connected. Because if they're not, you're going to find out the hard way that the money that you need to live maybe is not there on the day you expected it, right? So this is something that a lot of people just don't think about it. Just add it to your checklist, right? This is the details. Make sure that the information that is there in your accounts or in your employer benefits site has the right bank account, your right phone number, right email address, and they're all linked, and there is a period of time. So sometimes they'll have a wait period just to make sure nobody's trying to pull your money and run away with it.
Right.
So just be aware of it. This is something to add to your checklist, okay? So again, staying on the theme of money, so we'll move to the second one here. So this one is about transactions, right? I, for one, have a bunch of things set on autopay, right? I mean, we all, sometimes life's little conveniences, we may have autopay set up either for your utility bill, your water bill, whatever it is, or your phone bills and so on and so forth. They all have a certain date on which they get billed, and you don't have to deal with it day in and day out. Guess what? Once you retire, that incoming money is not there. So your auto pay setting may not have enough money, and you may get into penalties and charges and things like that. So these are little details. Go look at your transactions, look at what money is needed every month, pay attention to when they are scheduled, and let's make sure that the new source of money, meaning your savings account, your retirement account, whatever it is sending that money on the date you need, so that all your auto pays are working as expected, and you're not having to scramble in terms of paying penalties or disconnections or things like that. Yeah, so just a couple of things. I mean, these are things people is not top of mind, but if you had this and you had this in your checklist, hopefully it makes your life less stressful as you're already going through one of the biggest transition in your life, right?
Now, you were mentioning about putting all that stuff in one place, your bank accounts and your retirement accounts. As you well know, our software today that we work with clients doing financial planning, we have the ability to pull it all together for you.
Yep.
So you've got it in one repository that somebody is watching it for you. Not that we're monitoring your bank account, but when you leave that job and you no longer have access perhaps to that repository that you had all that information in, if you're dealing with a certified financial planner or has that kind of software, it's a secure website. We can once again serve in that role for you. So it's something to ask your CFP about and how that works.
Yeah, it's a coach. We're there to kind of guide you through that, some of the details, just to make sure have thought about it. Right? Absolutely. And the last thing I had on that money theme aspect of this is, there's been that little thing in the house that's been breaking apart or has been inconsistent, right? So this is where I say, be strategic about if you need to finance something, right? If there's a large purchase in the house, if there is a large thing you need to spend on, go ahead and pull the plug on it right now. This is again, because if you ever were to go try to fill out a loan application or a finance application, I mean it's a different meaning when you say retired versus still receiving a paycheck. So take care of these big purchases. It's a lot easier. So something out there that might have been bothering you, you've kind of ignored it. Make sure you take care of it. It's paid for, at least financed, or being strategic about what debt you keep as you retire. So something to think about in the last days of retirement. Take care of the big things that have been something that you've been putting away in the house. So simple maintenance stuff, but could be a large expense. So just take care of it so that you don't have to deal with it and then have to think about how to pay for it as soon as you retire.
Sure.
So that's just little things. Again, these are not the things that are typically the big rocks. You could read about this in books and so on and so forth. But these are the little nitty-gritty details when you get to implement this. things are getting a little bit, there's a lot more friction than you need, right?
But it's really just laying the foundation.
Exactly.
And knowing that you're ready, when you're ready to launch, you've got everything, the tank is full and pipes are connected, as you said, and you know exactly where you're going. Yeah, there's so many things to consider because, throughout your life, you've been working and things are going on, you're paying the bills, but then all of a sudden, your life's upside down.
Right.
And those are the things that you need to consider.
Yeah, and I think as we keep moving along, right? So some of the money aspects we kind of touched on. So here are some things that are, let's say, I call it the access bucket, right? Things that have been working very well. You've been busy, you've been taking care of things. Let's think about your doctor's visits, right? So your reminders for your doctor's visits, or your medication, right? Pharmacy. You've again mixed your life where there's not a real clean line between your professional life and your personal life. Maybe you've been getting all these notifications that are coming just to your office email address or your office phone, right? Make sure you need to go dig through that stuff, look through that stuff, and then make sure that they're all pointed to your new contact information, be it email or phone. Make sure these things are still connected the right way so that you will get notified when your prescription got refilled. You'll know that it's they're going to call you and that the right number rings.
So when you leave your employer, you're going to leave that email address likely, and you want to be sure that you've got it all back up. So we'll be back with more tips right after the break. Josh, take it away.
Consider it taken. If you want to call in, if you heard something that jogged a question in your mind, then call in right now, 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO, or send in your question using the open mic feature inside the free WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
Today
with the Certified Financial Group.
You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries and providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now 2 wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course, and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
Waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today.
As an investor, you want peace of mind. You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence. a defined standard with specific criteria covering 21 best practices. The documented, repeatable processes and the evidence-based decision-making that CFEX demands are more likely to generate investment portfolios that match client needs and expectations. And because the firm voluntarily agrees to a rigorous annual audit, investors can rest assured that their advisor continues to work to the highest professional standards. This independent verification is even more critical for trustees and investment committee members of retirement plans who are legally required to conduct regular due diligence on their service providers. Use a CFEX certified firm, and that job has been done already by an expert at no expense to the plan. So why leave anything to chance? Insist on working with investment professionals you can truly trust. Insist on using a CFEX certified advisor.
So you guys don't know Chicago, but I'm sure in your neighborhood you guys have an old school butcher where you walk in and there's a bunch of guys, no gloves, big white aprons, and there's Frank and there's Stevie and there's Mikey. And these guys know more about meat and more about animals and more about cooking the meat than any of us will ever learn. And so you walk in and you say, hey, Lou, I need to, I'm barbecuing this weekend, right? What do you like? And Lou goes to the big racks of stuff he has underneath the glass, and he goes, the veal chops, just in from Argentina, they are the bomb. And you go, veal? Oh, I like veal. Well, what do you got on skirt steak? Oh, we got some great skirt steak. Just came in yesterday from Montana. Skirt steak is one of my favorite, marinated up a little bit. It's fantastic. Lou will never say to you, Elliot, it's a little long on the meat here, big guy. Your cholesterol is getting high. Why don't you go down to the fishmonger a couple blocks and have a nice piece of salmon? Right? He'll never do that. Why? His job is to sell me meat, and I go in, actually the same way I go into the Toyota dealership, because I like Toyotas, and I trust the salesman to sell me a good product if I trust him. And the fact that he's got my interest at heart vis-a-vis my expectations for selling me that thing. By the same token, when I go to see a dietitian,
Welcome back to On the Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. We got Joe Bert and Dave Balakrishnan, two certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group, answering your calls as they have done for nearly 40 years here on WDBO. Call in right now, 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. Let's take Bob calling in from Orlando. Go ahead, Bob. You're on the air.
Morning, Bob. Thanks for calling. What's up?
Hi, Joe and Dave. I continue to appreciate your show, what you offer, and it looks like you really did a good job with your latest ads on for your staff as you promote them out. So I really appreciate all you do.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So my scenario is, if you can just give me trying to figure out an estimate. So I turned 67, 2 years. If I take Social Security, then it's my full age. I'm going to keep working until probably 70.
Okay.
So trying to figure out the tax liability, if I take it to 67, and let's say my average is $50,000 a year up till 70, if I take it at 67 and then I have to pay the penalty every year based on the income, or if I wait till 70 and retire, I definitely get more Social Security. But as they say, you lose out on the 3 years, 4 years you could have collected. But I'm just trying to figure out a best way to estimate what my tax penalty would be by taking it even at 67 normal age 4 to 4 years versus waiting for 70. If I could do a calculation on a tax estimate off of that.
Well, there's more than the taxes are going to be insignificant compared to what you're going to give up in terms of taking your Social Security early. We always recommend, if you can, that as a function, if you don't need the money, if you're going to continue to work, you obviously don't need the Social Security money, and that you're in good health, I would definitely suggest, regardless of what the taxes say, defer taking Social Security to age 70. Would you agree, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a couple of questions I wanted to, at least facts I want to clarify, Bob. You said you are 67?
No, I will be in 2 years.
Okay.
So I can collect normal then.
You're fully
or wait till
terminated.
70.
Gotcha,
Right,
gotcha.
right,
So,
right.
but you want to take it at 65. You want to take it now. Is that what you're thinking?
No. I want to either wait till 67 normal or go to 70.
Okay.
But I know that you get penalized even if you continue to work.
No, not after
Thanks.
67. So that's the thing. That's why I wanted to clarify that, right? So there are no penalties for taking Social Security while working as long as you claim at 67, right? So if you claim it early and you're
Right.
still working, then you have a penalty, or it's what's called a earnings test, and there is a limit up to which, for every $2 they take away $1, and so on and so forth. So if you're not claiming before 67, there are no penalties. Okay.
But you have to,
Right,
but
but
you'll
I'm
have to, but
confused.
you'll have to pay taxes on your Social Security.
Correct. You have to pay.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the other penalty. I mean, it's a double taxation. So what I'm looking at. So I'm just trying to figure out if I did take it 67, could I just go ahead and just try to pre-plan what I think the tax will be
Absolutely.
before waiting until the end of the year?
Of course,
Absolutely.
yes. But
Absolutely.
Bob, if you're in good health, are you married?
Oh no, I'm single.
Okay.
Okay.
The reason I ask is because the survivor benefit is a function of, if your income is higher, your survivor will get that higher benefit. But if you're in good health, Bob, and you're still working, I would not pay taxes on your Social Security today.
Yeah.
And see, you're giving up a compound 8% gross return plus the cost of living on that. So if you can wait till age 70, I'm going to tell you, it's a bonanza.
It's much better than the tax piece.
Right. I have some clients that have retired that have done that, and they were high earners, but their Social Security is over $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Like I said, I mean, I just wanted to see if I could try to plan it. Like if I just run taxes now based on, even though it's 2 years ago, I could pretty much try to estimate what I think my tax would be. Because if I, let's say, make 50,000, and then my Social Security would be 28,000.
Okay.
So I would add that to my 50,000 and try to figure out the tax penalty on that.
Well, you can, but once again, I can tell you, looking at it the way I'm looking at it, it makes no sense to pay taxes on your Social Security today that you don't need and giving up the 8% compound. It really makes no sense
Right.
from a financial standpoint.
Thank you so much, Bob. If you want to join the conversation as we come into a break, I invite you to call in 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. Send in your open mic using the free WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
Today,
with the Certified Financial.
You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence, a defined standard with specific criteria covering 21 best practices. The documented, repeatable processes and the evidence-based decision-making that CFEX demands are more likely to generate investment portfolios that match client needs and expectations. And because the firm voluntarily agrees to a rigorous annual audit, investors can rest assured that their advisor continues to work to the highest professional standards. This independent verification is even more critical for trustees and investment committee members of retirement plans who are legally required to conduct regular due diligence on their service providers. Use a CFEX certified firm, and that job has been done already by an expert at no expense to the plan. So why leave anything to chance? Insist on working with investment professionals you can truly trust. Insist on using a CFEX certified advisor.
So you guys don't know Chicago, but I'm sure in your neighborhood you guys have an old school butcher where you walk in and there's a bunch of guys, no gloves, big white aprons, and there's Frank and there's Stevie and there's Mikey. And these guys know more about meat and more about animals and more about cooking the meat than any of us will ever learn. And so you walk in and you say, hey, Lou, I need to, I'm barbecuing this weekend, right? What do you like? And Lou goes to, the big racks of stuff he has underneath the glass, and he goes, the veal chops, just in from Argentina, they are the bomb. And you go, veal, oh, I like veal. Well, what do you got on skirt steak? Oh, we got some great skirt steak, just came in yesterday from Montana. Skirt steak is one of my favorite, marinated up a little bit, it's fantastic. Lou will never say to you, Elliot, it's a little long on the meat here, big guy. Your cholesterol is getting high. Why don't you go down to the fishmonger a couple blocks and have a nice piece of salmon? Right? He'll never do that. Why? His job is to sell me meat, and I go in, actually the same way I go into the Toyota dealership, because I like Toyotas, and I trust the salesman to sell me a good product if I trust him. And the fact that he's got my interest at heart vis-a-vis my expectations for selling me that thing. By the same token, when I go to see a dietitian, I know she's going to look at all of my labs, she's going to take all the measurements, she's going to run all of her analysis, and she's going to absolutely give me her best thinking on what's best for me. Whether she's a vegetarian or a meat lover, likes this, likes that, if she thinks I should be doing something differently, even if it's not good for her, she's going to give me an opinion that's for my interest. So what's the difference between a fiduciary and the brokers? Well, these are dietitians, these are butchers. It's that simple. Brokers are butchers selling product. Fiduciaries are dietitians looking after your health. The problem is most people think that their butcher is a dietitian. So when one of your moms or dads or friends calls the broker and says, I got 200 grand, I sold a little piece of property, or I got some inheritance, what should I do with it? They're going in thinking they're talking to a dietitian, and they're really talking to Lou the butcher.
What is a fiduciary? When it comes to investing, a fiduciary is legally required to act in your best interest. For 40 years, planners at Certified Financial Group have been guiding our local clients toward financial peace of mind. The rest of the world is still catching up, but our team of certified financial planners are the local, experienced fiduciaries you can trust. Certified Financial Group are your Central Florida planners. Call us today.
40 years ago, I had a dream of building the best personal financial consulting firm in Central Florida. Now, with 14 certified financial planners acting as fiduciaries, I believe we're there. But don't take my word for it.
As we approach retirement, we have the freedom of choice.
Peace of mind that we now have, that's everything to us.
The people that work here are honest and caring, and I feel like I can go to sleep at night.
So schedule your no-obligation visit today at financialgroup.com, or we're planning tomorrow, today.
For more than
Welcome back to On the Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your very own WDBO app. We got Dave Balakrishnan and Joe Bert, two certified financial planners, answering your calls. If you call in right now to 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. You're also more than welcome to send in your question utilizing our open mic feature inside the WDBO app. Open it up, push record, give us your best 10 to 15 seconds, and I'll play it back live, as if you're sitting here in studio with us. What do you say we head back to Bob, who was wrapping up his question from Orlando? Joe, Dave, welcome back, Bob.
Welcome back, Bob. What's up?
Yeah, so that's what I was just trying to figure out, because I was asking about the taxes you have to pay on Social Security if you take it like normal age up to whatever. Because like the person I know had took it last year at the normal age they could, and they also worked, and then they had this several $1,000 tax hit because of that. So what I was trying to figure out is, do I just add, if I was going to do it, would I add my total Social Security I'm going to make to my total income, and that's how I base my tax that I'll pay off of it, or is there something else involved?
You got that, Bob. Yes, it's essentially going to add to your income that you currently have, right? So that's essentially potentially pushing you into that next tax bracket, right? You said you're single, so you're probably crossing over your tax bracket thresholds potentially into that next bracket. So that's why your taxes are likely to go up. I know with the big beautiful bill, there is a deduction at least from starting age 65, at least for the next couple of years. That's something to think about. So there's some stuff to think about. We're having a workshop, Bob, this Saturday on Social Security for couples. I know it's that may not all of it may not apply to you, but if you're interested, I welcome you to join us there. In our learning center. And we'll be happy to kind of go into some of those questions again.
So to make a reservation for that, Bob, just go to our website. That's financialgroup.com, financialgroup.com. You click on reservations and make it right there. But yeah, that's going to be added to your income. And of course, that's likely to push you right now, based on what you told us. It looks like you're in the lower tax bracket, in the 12% tax bracket. It's going to push you up in the 22% tax bracket. So.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everything. I really do. Thank you again.
Okay. Thanks for your call, Bob. Appreciate your persistence. Okay, we got a call I see there from Peter in Winter Park.
You got it, Peter. Go ahead. You're live.
Good morning, Peter. What's up? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, yeah, good. Thank you very much. Good morning. Yeah, question. I'm still working. I'm not at full Social Security yet. My question is, I have some money in a SEP IRA, self-employed. Any advice on how to start getting that money out of there? How much should I take out per year, and when to start getting that access to that cash? Should I wait until I'm fully retired? Because I'm just part-time. Income is down. I'm doing part-time. How do I start taking the money out little by little with the least amount of taxes? Any advice?
Well, this is, once again, it's sitting down with a certified financial planner and have him or her look at your total income situation, look at where your deductions are going to be. You might be entitled to the senior deduction. If you're over 65, that'll reduce your taxes. And then you can withdraw from your account. Of course, whatever you take out of that account is going to be taxable to you. So unless you need the money, I probably would not take the money out. You can wait till you have to take it out. Now it's age 73. But we can't tell you without knowing a lot of the details, unfortunately. It's a great question, and it deserves some analysis, and that's what Dave and I and the 15 other certified financial planners do, right, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think, Peter, you can always take money from your SEP IRA. It's your SEP IRA. You can always take it, just like as we answered for Bob. It is going to be added to your income. It is likely to have an impact on your tax brackets. So this is, as Joe was talking about, reach out to us or reach out to a financial planner who can kind of help analyze all of those taxes and give you the best path forward. So there's definitely a few more details to consider before we can give a straightforward answer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Appreciate the call, Peter. Thank you. And I see we got a caller from Bob from Melbourne. Good morning, Bob.
Well, hi, good morning. Thanks.
Sure.
Next year I'll have to start taking RMDs, and my 401k has these funds that are called collective trusts, but they do track the indexes that they do pretty well. But when I take, I would like to probably do sideways moves on the RMD, but does that have to be converted to cash before I transfer that to, say, an external brokerage account?
Yes. Yeah, collective trusts are only available in retirement accounts.
So it will have to become cash, and there'll probably be some kind of latency period before I could repurchase an equivalent fund.
Yes.
Okay, that just gets a little dangerous sometimes on volatility.
Well, but remember, it works both ways.
Oh, yeah, true, yes.
Yeah.
Sell high and buy low. That's a good idea.
Yeah, but to answer your question, you have to turn into cash in your retirement account to be able to buy an equivalent fund, not a collective trust outside of the retirement plan.
Okay, that's what I need. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate your call, Bob. Thank you so much. So let's get back to our topic, Dave.
Yeah.
We're talking about the 90 days to retirement, 10 things to consider. We talked about the psychological a little bit.
Yeah.
And then getting ready to leaving your employer, leaving all that stuff behind.
Yeah. And then we were talking about, some of the, I was talking about earlier, money things to think about to make sure, the pipes are connected, the money is coming in, money going out to money coming in is all organized and working well. And then we moved on to what I call the access bucket, right? So this is about your, making sure the emails, the contact information, all of this is linked to your, what would be your new email. In other words, that's not with work, right?
Right.
So invariably, if you've been working and you've been active online with an email address, again, that email address is not likely to go with you, right? In fact, last week I was meeting with a client, and they've always used their business email address, and they're getting ready to retire. So I was actually kind of helping them think about, hey, let's go ahead and open an email account. Let's make sure you look through your emails, look through your stuff, make sure you forward all of those things to your personal email now, so that you'll get back to that, right?
Right.
So again, this is not always thought first, but you're going to find out that once you've said goodbye, all that history is gone.
Right.
You just don't lose access to it.
Right.
The other piece, again, access, right? Again, while you're working, you probably had a lot of good benefits, healthcare benefits. You've thought about it. You maybe switched to Medicare. But then there is this life insurance benefits, right? So sometimes, some of the large employers give you insurance benefits that are group life, that are typically term policies. Sometimes you have whole life or long-term care policies and so on and so forth. So, and this is a piece that, once you're no longer employed, all of this kind of goes away, or you have a very short window before which you have to do something about it if you want to retain it.
Right. With life insurance, it's really critical because let's say your health has changed, deteriorated. You've got that group policy that you can no longer keep that particular policy. However, many of them allow you to convert it to some form of permanent insurance that you may want to inquire, particularly if your health is bad. I mean, this is it's like the house is, you can smell the smoke, so to speak. Buy the insurance because you're going to get a pretty good, hate to be so crass, but you get a good return on your investment. So look at that, because when you leave your employer, you're going to leave that benefit behind, and that could be a big benefit to your survivors because it's all tax-free.
Exactly. And I think this is something that is often forgotten. Again, some of these plans, maybe you've been putting away money towards whole life with long-term care. Again, just as Joe's talking about, as you're pushing your age, there's probably health considerations that you want to keep about and potentially think about retaining these policies.
Right. Now that being said, if you need life insurance and you're in good health, don't buy it through that group plan because it's going to be more expensive because the conversion privilege says they have to take everybody regardless of your health. So you're going to pay a higher premium.
Absolutely.
But if you need insurance, the time to do it is obviously when you leave, you're no longer in that group. Get yourself the correct kind of policies you want. Oftentimes a 10 or 20-year term will do it for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joe. Well, thank you, Joe, for mentioning that, right? It depends on your health. If your health is not so great, maybe you want to kind of use the policy from your employer. If your health is good, is very good, then go ahead and see if you're eligible for a private policy. Again, if you need it, right? So again, this is a lot of the part of the bigger picture on what your overall financial planning numbers say, right? So you may not always need life insurance, but if you have a lot of debt and so on and so forth, something to think about.
Right, for
something
sure.
to think about. Then we'll talk a little bit about your health checkup, right? So there's this leg pain that you've been going through. You've been like, okay, dealing with it and moving on. But yeah, here is an opportunity for you to say, hey, let me extract the most of the health insurance benefits that you've had or enjoyed through your employer. So again, this is about access, making sure you really review your benefits, reach out to your doctors, do that comprehensive health checkup if that makes sense. And then there is this little thing that's been back of your mind, you've not been paying attention to it. So this might be the time to pay attention to it and make sure all of these things are at least squared away before you transition to either a private insurance plan or a Medicare, where it takes time to build some of those things and set them back up. So again, a few things to think about. These are the little details that makes your transition smoother, more comfortable. Think about that stuff, and this is things to add to your checklist, and I call them the access bucket.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
So then, finally, we'll talk about the mind, right? So this is by far the largest transition after busy life, building a household, raising your kids, whatever that might be, and finally this is time for yourself. There's a big psychological piece. Hopefully, and this is one of the questions I ask all of the people I work with. You've always had a goal. You've got up in the morning, you've gone to the office, you've solved a problem, then you've had a clear purpose. Once you make this transition, what is that purpose? Hopefully you've given some thought. Hopefully you really have a plan, right? Now, if you've not had a plan, time to think about it, please, right? The other side of this is if you've thought about it and this is what you want to be doing, start living that, right? So this is like your trial run. Go live that life. Like if you say you want to be volunteering in this, or if this is a hobby that you want to take up, maybe use your weekends. Maybe if you have a lot of vacation days after all these years that you've been working, maybe take a week off and then go live this retirement life. Go live what you want to do so that you really are psychologically in the right place, right? And again, this is one of the things we talk about in our workshops. It's never a great idea for both the spouses to retire at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Right? This definitely has some fireworks, and not always of the best kind. Not always of the best kind, right? So I think it's something to think about. Mentally, there is something to think about: being ready, having a new purpose, trying out things, right? So you're gonna find a new community you'll have to build. Or if you have a lot of friends from your workplace that you can continue and enjoy this hobby of yours, great. But try it, go live it, go practice some of this stuff, right? So that's something to work on the mind.
Yeah, I have seen over the years that the clients that are happiest in retirement are those that had some form of plan after they retired, of things I'm going to do, whether it's volunteering. Generally, it's volunteering or doing all those projects or taking up a hobby. And as you said, you get up in the morning, you have something to do, and it's a whole new life for you, but without the pressure of work,
right,
so to speak. Yeah. I hear the bumper music. Josh, take it away.
If you want to join the conversation, one more segment with Dave Balakrishnan and Joe Bert, certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group. Call in now, 844-580-9326. That's 844-580-WDBO, or send in your open mic using the free WDBO app. As this episode comes to a close, I do want to tell you that Charles Curry is standing by. We have one more segment live on the air, but if your question pops into your head as this show wraps up here in 10 minutes, I invite you to write down this number, 407-869-9800. That's 407-869-9800. Just tell Charles Curry you heard us on the radio and you wanted to get your question answered by a certified financial planner from the Certified Financial Group. You are listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow today with the Certified Financial Group.
Lou will never say to you, Elliot, it's a little long on the meat here, big guy. Your cholesterol's getting high. Why don't you go down to the fishmonger a couple blocks and have a nice piece of salmon? Right? He'll never do that. Why? His job is to sell me meat, and I go in, actually the same way I go into the Toyota dealership, because I like Toyotas, and I trust the salesman to sell me a good product if I trust him. And the fact that he's got my interest at heart vis-a-vis my expectations for selling me that thing. By the same token, when I go to see a dietitian, I know she's going to look at all of my labs, she's going to take all the measurements, she's going to run all of her analysis, and she's going to absolutely give me her best thinking on what's best for me. Whether she's a vegetarian or a meat lover, likes this, likes that, if she thinks I should be doing something differently, even if it's not good for her, she's going to give me an opinion that's for my interest. So what's the difference between a fiduciary and the brokers? Well, these are dietitians, these are butchers. It's that simple. Brokers are butchers selling product. Fiduciaries are dietitians looking after your health. The problem is most people think that their butcher is a dietitian. So when one of your moms or dads or friends calls the broker and says, I got 200 grand, I sold a little piece of property, or I got some inheritance, what should I do with it? They're going in thinking they're talking to a dietitian, and they're really talking to Lou the butcher.
What is a fiduciary? When it comes to investing, a fiduciary is legally required to act in your best interest. For 40 years, planners at Certified Financial Group have been guiding our local clients toward financial peace of mind. The rest of the world is still catching up, but our team of certified financial planners are the local, experienced fiduciaries you can trust. Certified Financial Group are your Central Florida planners. Call us today.
40 years ago, I had a dream of building the best personal financial consulting firm in Central Florida. Now, with 14 certified financial planners acting as fiduciaries, I believe we're there. But don't take my word for it.
As we approach retirement, we have the freedom of choice.
Peace of mind that we now have. That's everything to us.
The people that work here are honest and caring, and I feel like I can go to sleep at night.
So schedule your no-obligation visit today at financialgroup.com, or we're planning tomorrow, today. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Our fiduciary approach of providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town.
I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now two wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course, and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
You know, waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today.
Taking calls off the air right now at 407-869-9800. Charles Curry, Certified Financial Planner with the Certified Financial Group. Again, available off the air at 407-869-9800. Here on the air, we have Joe Bert and Dave Balakrishnan wrapping up another great episode of On the Money. And I want to just get one more text question on the air if we can, gentlemen.
Let's do it.
Bob writes in. Bob says, my son has asked me to help with his down payment on his first house. Should I loan him the money or gift it to him?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that can be unpacked for that question, right? Gifting is always an option. You can give about $19,000 per person. So again, if you're single, by yourself, if you're married, so your spouse together, you can give $19,000 each. $19,000 each to your son to help out with that thing.
And you can give to your son and daughter, so you can
right,
you can
spouse,
give up to $76,000 without filing a gift tax return.
Right, and without having to do additional paperwork.
Right.
Of course, if there are things that you want to have expectations in terms of getting that money back for your own personal financial situation, then it might be better to structure it as a loan. I mean, there is, we would say, write something down saying, hey, this is the payment terms, this is maybe an interest rate. IRS has something called a minimum interest rate you have to charge. So there are some rules around it, but you could structure it as a loan if your financial situation demands that you get that money back. Have something in writing so that when you have an audit or whatever else, again, have that cleaned up. Another thing to think about, again, sounds like this one is about helping out with the down payment for their first home. That was the key word there. There's a lot of programs out there for first-time home buyers right now. Right? Even Florida has a program called the SHIP program. This is, again, they can get down payment assistance or some kind of repair assistance up to $140,000, 140% of the area's median income. So there's some interesting programs in terms of how down payment assistance. Talk to your mortgage consultant if you have one. Banks may or may not necessarily have the answer to that question, but there is a process in which you can actually get a little bit of help from funds that have been allocated from the Florida's budget that has been allocated to the counties and can potentially be something of assistance for your down payment towards your son's home.
Go ahead. And if you make that loan, I think you need to consider also on the financial disclosure for the borrower.
Yeah.
That's going to show up in should show up in the financial disclosure form, and it may impact your ability to borrow at a good rate. So talk to your mortgage broker and see what it's about.
Yeah.
But if you don't need the money and don't care about giving it back, you can make it a gift and say, son, it's a gift. But if you can somehow down the road pay us back, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, Joe, I guess the last thing I would say is really, again, we were talking about retirement, which is one of the biggest transitions in life, right? So I think the most important thing is plan that day. Take a moment to celebrate, right? Your closest people that you want to hang out with, the people you want to start your next phase with life. Maybe plan your celebration. Maybe a big cookout or whatever it is. Make a plan to celebrate.
And definitely by all means, because you've achieved a milestone, and our job is to get you to and through those retirement years. So once again, our website is financialgroup.com. Financialgroup.com. We've got an upcoming workshop a week from today. David will be doing it on Social Security. Go to our website, financialgroup.com, and hope to see you there.
Thank you so much. And again, Charles Curry taking calls off the air, 407-869-9800. You've just listened to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
today
with the Certified Financial Group.